usual initial appearance before a state court judge. And we're able to address bond, possible arraignment, and maybe plea offers if they've been offered at this juncture. I don't see my reset date, Ms. Bridgewater.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. She's about to log in right now. The reset date is going to be August the 22nd.
Okay, thank you, Ms. April, August 22nd. Gotcha. All right. And that will be the reset date. I'm going to begin by advising everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube. And I want to also remind the defendants of your constitutional rights, obviously, to have an attorney to represent you at this juncture. Most of you do. And you also have a constitutional right to remain silent. Anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, and the occurrences regarding your case can and will be held against you. The solicitors are here and they're listening. Listen to your attorneys, govern yourselves accordingly, and we will proceed likewise. Where are we starting first, Deputy?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is the South Annex. Before you, I have position number 6, Miss Mary Carter.
All right. This is case number 22 CR 005252C, Mary Carter. You're charged with 1 count of theft by taking and a 2nd count of theft by shoplifting, both with the offense dates of August the 5th, 2022. Pre-trial, do you have anything?
Your Honor, the GCIC indicates the defendant has no criminal record on file. She does meet criteria to be released through pre-trial. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. And this case belongs to Ms. Mitchell.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. You may proceed.
Your Honor, in this case, officers responded to a theft in Hateville where shoes, socks, and a book bag, property of firefighter Jay Arango, spelled ARANGO, was stolen from a fire station located at 870 South Central Avenue, Hateville, Georgia. Mr. Arango was able to identify defendant as the person who took his belongings. After taking Mr. Arango's book bag, the defendant then went inside the corner market located at 3332 Colville Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia, and stole 2 packs of beers valued at $21, approximately $21, and placed them inside the book bag. Your Honor, there's a current bond of $3,000 surety on this case, $1,500 as to each count, and the state's going to request that that bond be changed to a $3,000 signature bond with a stay away from both incident location, the corner market, and the fire station in Hateville, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, and Ms. Gant.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Miss Mary Carter is 59 years old. She has been in the Atlanta, Georgia. She was here in 1998. She moved away and returned in 2008. She retired here. She has community ties, including a son. We are unopposed to the stay away, Your Honor. Ms. Carter completed high school. She does have 2.5 years toward nursing. When she worked, she was a customer service agent for Delta Airlines. Ms. Carter denies the allegations. We hear that she has no prior history whatsoever. We are unopposed to the $3,000 signature bond in the stay away. We would just ask that regarding the fire station, if she has a legitimate purpose to be at the fire station, that she be allowed to be there, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, I see a Karen Carter. Are you related to this case or?
Yes, Your Honor. Mary is my sister.
All right, your sister, do you wish to address the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hold on 1 second. Raise your right hand for me. I need to swear you in.
Okay. Is it okay with my left? I just had surgery on my right and I can't lift it.
You can't lift your right arm?
No, I had rotator cuff surgery, so I can't lift my arm.
Okay. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
I do.
All right, thank you. Put your hand down. What would you like to tell me briefly and limited about this case, or what would you like to say to the court today?
First, regarding Ms. Gant's summary, Mary does not have a son. Mary has been, at least to my knowledge, in and out of mental health facilities.
Your Honor, I would object to the testimony, Your Honor. My client is competent. She is able to relay her history. Ms. Carter, although she is related to the client, she's not a witness to this incident. Therefore, we find her testimony irrelevant and out of scope.
All right, Ms. Carter, do you know anything about this incident that occurred?
I found out about the incident the morning after, correct?
Okay, and so does your sister live with you?
No, ma'am, I live in Texas.
Okay, you live in Texas, okay. And you're in Texas at the present?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you provide any support for your sister?
I did earlier this year when I traveled to Atlanta. It was temporary.
Okay, so you're not supporting her on a monthly basis or anything like that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And as far as you know, she's self-sufficient, able to support herself?
I can't attest to.
Okay. All right. So when was the last time that you spoke with her?
I spoke with her, it may have been a week ago. I just had actually gotten out of surgery and not too long after surgery.
Okay. All right. Ms. Gant and Ms. Mitchell, do you all have any questions of this witness?
The defense does not at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Ms.
No,
Mitchell?
Your Honor. We
Okay.
do not.
All right. And so, Ms. Carter, that will be as much as I can allow you to speak about, because this is just a bond hearing. This is not the trial.
Mhm.
At this point, it's not always necessary to have a character witness of sort unless you can shed light regarding this incident. So we don't want to prejudice her at all by having any information in that is not relevant to the bond hearing, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, mute yourself for me. Thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and give my ruling in this case. I'm going to order the $3,000 signature bond through pretrial as has been recommended. I'm going to order that there be no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. I'm going to order the stay away from the firehouse at 870 South Central Avenue in Hapeville. I'm going to also order the stay away from the corner market at 332, I think it's Colville Avenue.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and you didn't ask for any witness or persons to not be contacted. She stays away from both of those locations, and there shouldn't be a need to order any contact with any of the persons at those locations. I do recall Ms. Gant asking about the fire station for her to have some type of limited access if services are needed. You know, I don't know if this is the firehouse that is nearest to the location where the defendant lives. I don't know that she would need to walk up to the firehouse. From what I'm thinking the allegations are, to be there for any services. There may be some other places she could go if she needs any medical attention or services. I don't like to usually say that they can go just for that purpose because sometimes it can be conflicting. And then, of course, the person ends up arrested again for possibly trespassing or coming where they were ordered not to go. So I would just say to you, Ms. Carter, do not go back to the firehouse. Do not go back to the corner market, okay? While you're on bond, okay? All right. I'm not going to give you limited purposes to be at the firehouse because I don't really think there should be any type of services at this point. All right. Good luck to you. All right.
Good afternoon, Judge. Will you break that bond down?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. 1,500 on each charge.
Okay, that's a good bond.
That's a signature bond through pretrial.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have position 7, Tracy Creighton.
All right, this is position 22CR005258B, as in boy, Tracy Creighton. You're charged with 1 count of affray or fighting, offense date August 5th, 2022. Pretrial.
The defendant has 3 cycles beginning in 2008. She's a multi-state offender with arrests from the states of Florida and Georgia. Last arrest was November of 2014 for resisting officer with violence, and that was in with violence to her person, in Jacksonville, Florida. The defendant received 37 days confinement, December 15th of 2014. 1 prior misdemeanor conviction outside the 10-year period. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. And is this Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, in this case, the defendant battered her girlfriend, who's also a co-defendant, Lachey Lucas, Lachey spelled Lashae, Lucas, common spelling, by engaging in a physical altercation at the MARTA 5-Point Station located at 30 Alabama Street, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. Ms. Lucas was bleeding from the mouth, according to officers. Both parties can be seen on the MARTA security footage punching and pushing each other, which officers were able to review after the incident. Your Honor, there's a current bond of $2,000 surety, and the state is going to request that the bond remain the same with a no further contact with the co-defendant, Lachey Lucas, a stay away from incident location, the MARTA 5-Point Station, in accordance with any active suspensions, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. As heard from pretrial, this is not the defendant's first incident with violence. The defendant has simple battery and simple assault conviction in 2009 in Georgia, and then the conviction for resisting officers with violence and disorderly conduct in 2014 in Florida. So with that being said, we are recommending the surety bond in this case. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Gant?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Tracy Creighton is 33 years old. She has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area her entire life. She has family here, including a sister and a mother. She also is the primary caretaker for 3 children, ages 18, 12, and 9. She is not receiving any child support at this time. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away at the incident location. If there is in fact the MARTA suspension. My client graduated high school. She also has some college credits, business technology trade. She is currently employed as a dietary aide. She has been in this position for the last 3 months, Your Honor. She denies the allegation. She denies being the primary aggressor. She merely was defending herself, Your Honor. I do acknowledge my client's history. However, her last arrest was 2014, and that is, I believe, remote. I am requesting a signature bond on Ms. Creighton's behalf, and if Your Honor determines that she is ineligible, I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,000. And again, we are unopposed to the no contact and stay away orders. Thank you, Your Honor.
And the co-defendant case is not on this calendar today. Is that correct?
No, Your Honor, the co-defendant is actually on felony first appearance today.
Okay. All right. I was just double checking on that. I'm going to order the $2,000 surety bond. I'm going to order the stay away from the MARTA 5 Points location, and also to adhere to any other bans or recommendations that MARTA has already put in place. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, Lachey Lucas, in this case. no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I'm going to order the 1-day anger awareness course. And is there anything else, council, that I need to take up?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Nothing
right.
from the state, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. That'll be the ruling.
Next, we have position 18, Ms. Jayla Sanders.
Case number 22 CR 005263J. And that's Jayla Sanders. You're charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting. Offense date is April the 27th, 2022. Pretrial.
Starting the GCIC indicates the defendant has no prior no prior convictions no felony convictions and no prior arrest history. She does meet criteria for unsecured judicial release. She's 17 years of age. If released to pretrial, we would need a parental cosigner. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. Is it cosigner and utility bill?
Yes, utility bill matching the cosigner's identification or driving license.
Okay. All right, thank you.
We're showing that her mother, Jessica Sanders, verified her address, so that would need to be the cosigner listed on the bond order.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. That would be my case.
Oh, yes, thank you, Ms. Johnson. Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. This incident occurred at 970 Mansell Road in Roswell, Georgia, at Walmart. The defendant, Miss Sanders, actually was in Walmart with the co-defendant. She's employed by Walmart. She was there and was seen exiting the employee entrance with 2 mattresses in a tent valued at $238. Since that incident, both her and the co-defendant have been terminated. She is 17 years old, Your Honor, and pretrial is correct in stating that she has no prior history. So we will be asking for a 3,000 signature bond, ask to stay away from the location, and ask that there be no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. We do not oppose any of those. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. I am going to order that $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. I'm going to order a stay away from the Walmart at 970 Mansell Road. I'm going to also ask, and I don't know, I know there was someone when we first signed in asking about a particular case. Was that not this case at all? I'm just trying to make sure, Ms. Kim, if you had any contact with her mother.
No. Yes, I did.
No, ma'am. Hi, Your Honor. Hold on, sorry. Let me put my camera on. My name is Jessica Sanders. I'm her mother. I am on the call, but I wasn't the one asking about there was a previous person someone was asking about, but I am her mother.
Good. I'm glad that you're on the call, Ms. Sanders, so you understand what you need in order to go pick up your daughter because she is underage.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and so you're clear on that and where to go, right?
I'm not actually clear on where I'm supposed to go. I talked to her public defender, and I think she, because my daughter has been transferred to 3 different jails, so I have no idea which one I'm actually supposed to go to.
All right, Ms. Kim, she can get that information from you or someone else?
Actually, South Annex has to advise her, since I do not know the exact procedure how they're going to release, whether they're going to release directly from South Annex or they're going to transfer her to Rice Street. That's something that I need to get information from South Annex.
All right,
She will-
yes.
She will be released from the 901 Rice Street, but her mother will have to go to Jefferson Street to pretrial to sign the paperwork. And I believe pretrial be able to give her that information.
All right, pretrial. Ms. Gordon,
Yes, Your Honor, she will enter the back. As she comes to Jefferson Street to, like she is going to enter the jail at 901, that's where we are located. To the right, once she comes through the gate, the security gate, right to the right is a large modular, says pretrial intake, and she'll come in there and just make sure she has her driving license and a utility bill that matches the same address, and we'll handle it from there.
all right. Are you clear, Ms. Sanders?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. And I can do that like right after this is over, or do I have to wait a certain amount of time before I can go up there?
I won't be signing the order to the end of the calendar. So, I guess closer to 5 o'clock. Would that be safe to say that, Ms. Gordon?
Your Honor, it all depends on when the jail is gonna
Right, we don't have,
process your orders and get the defendants ready for release, so.
and we have no control over that,
Exactly.
unfortunately.
Exactly.
That will be the jail's call. But it's going to probably be some hours, I can tell you that at least.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Next, Judge, we have position 1, Ms. Allen.
Okay. This is 22 CR 005248J, Jazz Allen. You're charged with 1 count of battery family violence, the 2nd count of cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, both with the offense date of August the 7th, 2022. Pretrial.
Your Honor, the defendant has 3 cycles beginning in 2015. The last arrest was June of 2017 for a probation violation out of Cobb County, Georgia. The underlying charge was possession of marijuana less than an ounce. That was a first offender probation. It was sealed in 2017. The defendant does meet criteria for, for SOB through pretrial. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. And Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, the defendant battered the father of her child, Mr. Oronde, spelled Oronde, Mitchell, by shoving him in his back and scratching him on the face, leaving him with a laceration on his face along with other scratches. Mr. Mitchell was the only one with visible signs of injury. The defendant was determined to be the primary aggressor and was arrested as a result. Their child, CM, was in the vehicle and observed the physical altercation that took place. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is going to be as to count 1, a $3,000 surety bond, and as to count 2, a $500 surety bond, totaling a $3,500 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, Mr. Oronde Mitchell. And stay away from the incident location, 4335 Cascade Road, Atlanta, Georgia. That is where the incident took place. It was in the car, so I'm not sure if that was outside someone's home. So we are requesting a stay away at this time. A third-party transfer of the child, 1-day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. As your honor knows, this is a family violence case, and the state takes domestic violence cases very seriously based on the nature of these allegations and the fact that we have not been able to make contact with the victim. We are requesting a surety bond at this time. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 25 years old. She has some college education and is a native of Atlanta. She denies the allegations stated by the prosecutor. In fact, she maintains that Mr. Mitchell was actually the primary aggressor. Your Honor, my client went to pick up her daughter that she shares with Mr. Mitchell. He refused to give her daughter, even though he has not legitimated that child, and she's allowing him to participate in the child's life because she chooses to, because she feels her daughter needs to have her father. She went to pick up her daughter who had school today, and Mr. Mitchell refused to give her daughter. she put her daughter at one point, she went in the house and took her daughter, put her daughter in the car. Mr. Mitchell refused to let her leave. He kept opening the car. And at one point he attacked her, he choked her, and he grabbed her daughter from her. Mr. Mitchell is a very big man. He weighs over 350 pounds. My client is not in a position to attack him or anything. He really was a primary aggressor. She wants no further contact with Mr. Mitchell, she has told me. And she doesn't mind third-party transfer of her daughter, Your Honor, but I would ask the court to give her a signature bond so she can get out of jail, get on with the 3 jobs that she has, and take care of her daughter. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Well, I want to add that Mr. Mitchell has also been previously arrested for domestic violence.
Your Honor, we're going to object to that. His history is not relevant in the situation where she's the defendant. But to add on to that, the statements Mr. McLeod made were same statements that the defendant made to the officer, and the officer recognized that the defendant had no visible injuries despite her allegations and decided that she was the primary aggressor in this case. So again, based on the allegations and what was determined by the officer's investigation, we are recommending a surety bond. Thank you.
And how old is the child in this case?
The child is 5 years old, Your Honor. She's a girl.
Okay. And tell me this, do we have any other specific information about that address at 4335?
Where the father lives, Your Honor. And she doesn't
Father
want to
lives
go back
there?
there. That's correct. Miss Allen, is there something?
Yes.
If this is not, if this is not related to any questions about your bond, let me handle it. You can call me later if you have any questions. Okay.
Okay.
All right, I will give my ruling. And I'm going to order a signature bond in the amount of $3,500 through pretrial. I'm going to order that there be no further contact with Mr. Arande Mitchell. I'm going to order that the defendant stay away from 4335 Cascade Road, that she not go back to that address, that if there is any visitation allowed with this child, that it be handled through a third party so that there will be no contact between the parties. I'm going to order the 1-day anger awareness course. And then no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Anything else, counsel?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Judge, what's your breakdown?
3,000 on the battery and 500 on the cruelty. Sorry about that.
Next, Judge, we have position 20, Ms. Thomas.
After that, Deputy, do you have Antonio Jackson? I know he has a private attorney. I don't know where he is in the cycle.
Yes, he's here, Judge.
Okay. And he said this is position 20.
Yes.
All
Ms.
right.
Thomas, Charmaine Thomas.
Jermaine Thomas, okay. This is 22 CR 005260G. Charmaine Thomas, you're charged with 1 count of reckless conduct. The offense date is August the 5th, 2022, pretrial.
Your Honor, the defendant has 5 cycles beginning in 2003. She is a multi-state offender with arrests from the states of Ohio and Georgia. Last arrest was February of 2016 in Douglas County, Georgia, for driving under the influence, DUI. The defendant received 12 months probation. There was also a misdemeanor conviction in 2016 out of Cobb County for DUI. The defendant does meet criteria for an SOB through pretrial. Nothing further.
All right. Ms. Duncan?
Yes, Your Honor, I think it's relevant to note at this time that the defendant also has out of Ohio and operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, 2 counts from 2007. This incident did occur on August the 5th, 2022, in the area of 192 Margaret Street in Fairburn, Georgia. In this incident, Your Honor, officers were dispatched to a medical call. When they arrived at 192 Margaret Street, they saw a toddler walking in the street with no parents present. There was the defendant in this case, Ms. Thomas, was later found in her vehicle unconscious and breathing, but officers believed at that time that she was intoxicated. However, when they made contact with Ms. Thomas, she stated that she took her medicine for chest pain and had passed out. Defects was contacted in this incident, Your Honor, given that this toddler was able to evade her supervision because she was passed out and walked up and down a dangerous street. The state has a concern here, particularly looking at her history with being in vehicles while intoxicated or under substances that make it difficult for her to pay attention or properly do what's necessary to abide by the law. We have a concern for the child as defects was contacted. So we're going to be requesting a $3,000 surety in this case. We're going to ask that this defendant comply with all defects mandates and to have no alcohol, drugs, and weapons unless prescribed, no further violations of Georgia law, and an ADET. Nothing further from the state.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Thomas, Ms. Thomas is actually, she is 40 years old and she has been here in Georgia all her life. She has 2 children. One age is 20 and of course this toddler is 3 years old and she is gainfully employed.
That's what Candy Flowers will handle that because I got
I'm sorry, Mr. Cox or somewhere.
Okay.
Okay.
She's afraid that she's going to lose a job. She's a sole provider for the family, so she's very concerned. Your Honor, she has a prescription from the doctor on Thursday, so she had to take the medicine for her chest. She was basically waiting for her daughter's friend to open the door for the apartment because she locked herself out of the house, her place. She left her room key at the apartment, so she couldn't get in. Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond so she can get out of the jail and take care of her toddler, 3 years old, and comply with defects, whatever they order. Thank you, Your Honor.
What type of work does she do again?
She works at warehouse, Your Honor. And she graduated from high school and she has some credits at college.
All right, I'm going to order a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. I'm going to order Ms. Thomas to comply with any of the defects requirements as it relates to her daughter. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, except for anything prescribed to her, as long as it does not inhibit her from being able to care for her child. If that is the case, be careful on whatever is prescribed and follow the instructions on those prescriptions. If it says no driving, no driving. As far as this address, it's 192 Margaret Street in Fairburn. Who resides there?
She resides there with her daughter and two kids and daughter's friend who's 21 years old. Her friend is temporarily residing there.
I was hesitant to order a stay away from that location since that may be obviously her address.
Yes, Your Honor.
The state is not requesting a stay away, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. And I'm going to order the ADET and to go ahead and comply with any recommendations from that ADET as well.
Your Honor, ADET, if I understand correctly, is very expensive class. Would it be okay if I order social workers services to go out and have a BHET to determine whether she needs ADET?
Your Honor, the state would object to that. We see that her record indicates 2 DUI convictions as well as another DUI arrest. So this would be her, actually her fourth being in a vehicle while intoxicated. Her record shows that she needs an ADT at this point, Your Honor. She has 2 convictions and an arrest for operating while intoxicated. And now she's accused of being intoxicated again in this circumstance. So much so that her child was left unsupervised at 3 years old.
Yes, I'm sorry, Ms. Kim, I have to agree with the state on this. There is history, whether it's alcohol or prescriptions, we have history here that would warrant an ADET at this point.
Okay, Your Honor.
I'm going to go ahead and order that.
Yes.
All right. There's nothing else that will conclude this case.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we have position 11, Mr. Jackson.
All right, this is 22 CR 005262Y, Antonio Jackson. You're charged with 1 count of simple battery family violence. The offense date is August 6, 2022. Pre-trial.
Your Honor, the GCIC indicates the defendant has no criminal record on file. He does meet criteria for SOB through pretrial, nothing further.
All right. Mr. Dudley?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place at 409 Mishaki Terrace, and the victim, Javicia Sadler, JAVACIA, Sadler, SADLER, and the defendant got into a verbal dispute. The verbal dispute became physical when the defendant grabbed and choked Ms. Sadler. And the defendant and Ms. Sadler lived together, and the defendant has resided with her for about 6 months. So the state has concerns of influencing the witness. We recommend a bond of $3,000, surety bond, no further contact, and to stay away from the incident location, along with no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Nothing further from the state.
Give me the address again.
The address is 409 MISSHAKI, TERRACE.
I don't know how to pronounce it, so we'll
that spelling right there.
we'll work on that. I know Miss Bridgewater has it.
I have it.
Thank you. All right. Okay. Is it Miss Kim or Miss McLeod? Oh, that's right. This is a private attorney. My bad. Sorry. Miss Banks. Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miss Banks.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Jackson is a 26-year-old male. He is native here to the Atlanta area. He does have a job here. He has been at that job for over a year. My client denies all of those allegations. Specifically, he does not reside at that address. My client resides at another address. He also denies putting his hands on Ms. Sadler. He does maintain that they did get into a verbal dispute, to which my client did attempt to leave the premises, but Ms. Sadler had misplaced his keys or had hidden his keys, which prevented him from leaving the premises at that time. But again, my client does not reside at the address, and the two actually are not in a relationship. The two ceased being in a relationship a few months ago. They were trying to work things out to get back together, but as we can see, that did not happen. So, Your Honor, I would request that my client receives a signature bond, as this is his first offense. And we are fine with him staying away from the premises, as well as ceasing communication with Ms. Sadler.
And I would like to make the court aware that according to the warrant, the defendant is the one who told the police that he lived there for 6 months.
Your Honor, I'm not sure what the defendant may have told the police, but I've spoken with my client. My client moved out from those premises 2 months ago. He does not have any property at the address.
All right. Are you able, so that I know we'll have you down as the attorney of record, to update his address and put that in the chat?
Yes, Your Honor. And based on the court records, they do not have that listed as my client's address. His address is listed as 1931 Piedmont Drive in Lithonia.
Okay. All right, I was a little concerned again that there's not been the cooling off period, but I will go ahead and grant a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. I'm going to order a stay away from 409 and the street that I cannot pronounce. It's like Miss something. You all know what we're referring to from the Mishaki trace of some sort. So we're going to ask that Mr. Jackson stay away from that location, that he have no further contact with the victim, Miss Sadler, and that I'm going to order the 1-day anger awareness course through pretrial. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond except for those prescribed medications. And is there anything else I need to take up, counsel? I think that would be my ruling.
No, Your Honor, not for me. I just asked if once we get done, if I can be excused.
Yes, you may. Good to meet you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, my business before the court is also concluded. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too, Judge.
All right.
In 21, Ms. Thomas.
Okay.
Naomi Thomas.
Thank you. You have 22 CR 005261G. And this is Naomi Thomas. You're charged with 1 count of simple battery, a 2nd count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, August the 7th, 2022 is that offense date. Pre-trial?
Your Honor, the GCIC indicates the defendant has no criminal record on file. She does meet criteria for an SOB through pretrial. Nothing further.
All right. Ms. Duncan?
Your Honor, this incident did occur on yesterday at 3450 Roxborough Road. The victim in this case is Mr. Linworth Mumby, Lenworth Mumby, Mumby, and the officer involved in the obstruction is Officer D. Brown. In this incident, Your Honor, officers were dispatched to that location on a dispute with a weapon call. When they arrived at the location, they spoke with the victim, in this case, Mr. Mumby, and he stated that he was in a verbal altercation with his girlfriend and that he was attempting to de-escalate the argument and leave the premises because he wanted to be left alone and didn't want to argue. But she continued to follow him outside of the premises, and as he was walking away, she continued to attack him, even at one point slapping him in the back of his head. This attack was witnessed by a third-party witness who was also on the sidewalk, Ms. Jessica Burns, who stated that she was in her vehicle and she saw that the defendant in this case, Ms. Thomas, was following the victim and did in fact strike him in the back of his head. The victim in this case did indicate to officers that something similar had happened like this before. And due to the obstruction, when Ms. Thomas was being arrested, they kept repeating to her to comply with being detained, and she refused, so much so to the point that officers had to threaten to tase her to get her to comply with their commands. So just want to note for the court that Mr. Mumby was in fact arrested during this altercation. However, it was not in relation to this incident. He was arrested for an active warrant out of another jurisdiction. So I just want to make the court aware of that up front, given the facts and circumstances alleged due to the fact that there is violence indicated and the victim indicated to officers at the time that something like this had happened before. We have a concern about the risk of reoffense. We understand that this is her first offense. However, there is violence alleged, so we're going to be requesting a $2,500 total surety. That's $2,000 surety on the simple battery and $500 on the obstruction to the law enforcement officer. We're going to be asking for no further contact with the victim in this case. We're unsure if any children are involved, but if they are, we would ask for third-party contact and stay away from the incident location with no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law. Nothing further from the state.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Naomi Thomas is 22 years old, Your Honor. She has 2 jobs. She works at internet sales, and also at night she works as a waitress. She is the one who is whose name is on the lease primarily, and she's the one who pays for all the entire rent and household expenses. And indeed, they broke up, and also the reason she's the one who called the police to protect her because of her ex-boyfriend, Mr. Mumby, was threatening with weapon. And this incident happened previously, and this is another case that she was threatened with a weapon. She's very scared, and she wanted to be safe. That's why she called the police, and yet she's the one who's ended up in jail. Your Honor, she has no children, so we don't have to worry about third-party visitation. And she has 2 years of college education, and she's working hard. We would like to request for signature on bond as pretrial recommended through jail, and there's nothing else, Your Honor. No further contact is okay. However, stay away. That's her place, and he does not live there. Thank you.
Your Honor, I just like to clarify for the record that there is video of the defendant in this case being the aggressor. That's why she was arrested in this incident, and nothing further from the state.
Do we have any more information on this incident location?
No, we were because the victim was arrested on something else. We weren't able to make clear as to whether or not they lived there, but and the reports did not indicate whether or not they lived there. But since we were not able to talk to the victim in this case, we just asked for a stay away out of abundance of caution. If it comes out later that this victim does no longer live there, then the defendant's counsel is free to make any changes that may be necessary after the court rules.
Your Honor, can we ask for one-time law enforcement escort to verify he's not there, since he's already in the jail in another jurisdiction? He's not going to be there, and his stuff is not there. So I really think that she should return home. It's her place.
All right, I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. That'll be $2,000 on the simple battery and $1,000 on the obstruction. I'm going to order no further contact with Mr. Mundy, the victim in this case, no further contact, and no further contact, I'm assuming, with Officer Brown as well. Also, I'm going to order the one-day anger awareness course through pretrial. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And I'm going to order that one-time escort by law enforcement for Ms. Thomas to go back to that location. And if the victim does not reside there, nor has any clothing items or any personal effects there, which the officer can observe, then she can stay there. But if not, and she gets there with the officer and Mr. Mumby is there, then she cannot reside there. Then she'll have to go find somewhere else to reside. Is that clear, Ms. Thomas? Okay. I think they have you muted, but Ms. Kim, you will make sure that she understands that. Ms.
Yes, Your Honor. I'll call you, Ms. Thomas, to explain further.
All right, and that should conclude this case unless there's anything else that council needs me to take up.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the state.
Right, thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes.
can we put position 9, the Spanish interpreter, and Ms. Gant in the breakout?
Yeah.
That's courtroom 3. I'm sorry, courtroom 3.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we have 2 cases, 9 and
Yeah,
16.
yeah. One is I believe one is Ms. Kim, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna start off with Ms. Gant's case first.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Lemire, position 14, Mr. Lemire is next.
Okay.
Lemire, who is that? That's you. I'm not saying it. Apron?
Longmire. 14 is Longmire.
We have position 14, Mr. Longmire.
Okay. This is 22 CR 0052556E. Mr. I think it's Arian Longmire. You're charged with 1 count of simple battery, family violence. The offense date is August the 6th, 2022. Pre-trial.
Your Honor, the defendant has 5 cycles beginning in 2005. Last arrest was June of 2009 for possession of cocaine with intent to distribute in Fulton County, Georgia. That case was dismissed July 10th of 2009. Also, there is a hold out of Medina, Ohio for an FTA case. The date of the warrant, July 2nd of 2021. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Reed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Lee Reed for the state.
Okay.
This incident occurred at 2980 Jonesboro Road, Southeast, Unit 289, Atlanta, Georgia. The victim in this case is a 13-year-old stepdaughter, Alon Longmire. I'll spell Alon, is spelled A-L-O-N. And again, she's 13 years old, and the incident occurred because the officer responded to his dispute. Ms. Longmire said that she was using the stove, and the defendant took away all the cooking utensils and her cell phone. While Ms. Longmire tried to get her cell phone back, the defendant used his elbow to cross block her, and his elbow landed on her neck. Ms. Longmire's mother spoke with our victims advocate group, and I understand the mother might be on the Zoom call. However, it's important to note the mother was not there during the incident. And further, the mother said that the defendant, she was told by her daughter that the defendant did in fact strike her. The state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond and no further contact, stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, weapons while out on bond, and a 1-day anger awareness class.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Longmire is actually 43 years old, and they have been living together for 10 years, and yet Mr. Longmire plans to move out. He was actually in the middle of moving out. So we do not object to stay away, and we do not object to no further contact either. And my client completely denies the allegation. There was no striking whatsoever. He did not put his hands on her, and he's very concerned of how unruly alleged complaining witness is. And Mr. Longmire has lived here in Georgia for 20 years, and he has other child as well, total of 3 children. And he also works as a self-employment. He's a general contractor for home improvement, and he's been doing that for about 5 years. He also graduated from high school, and his Ohio case is actually, they do not want him to be transported to Ohio at this point. He will just take care of it later. And that's about it, Your Honor. I believe that he is qualified for signature on bond through pretrial, and we would like to request for that.
All right, do I have anyone on this Zoom call related to this case? No?
I don't see anybody, Your Honor.
Okay. I was just making sure the mother wasn't on. And so is this his biological daughter or stepdaughter? Do we know?
I was told it's his stepdaughter, and she's 13 years old.
Okay. But they have the same last name.
I noticed that.
Okay. All right, I'm going to order a $3,000 surety bond. I'm going to order a stay away from 2980 Jonesboro Road, Southeast. I'm going to order no further contact with Alon Longmire, the victim in this case. I'm going to order the one-day anger awareness course. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, except for anything prescribed to the defendant.
Your Honor, the one-day anger awareness class is usually, it's provided by pretrial services. Since this is surety bond, I don't think he needs to have that, Your Honor. Otherwise, unless you change that to signature bond through pretrial, Your Honor.
Are you telling me he doesn't have money to pay for a one-day anger awareness course?
I don't think there is a class that is offered outside of pretrial services.
Your Honor, is he able to pay for that with his own money, the anger management course?
That's what I was asking.
That was my understanding, although pretrial can fill that in, but I know Judge Law has been ordering one-day anger awareness or FVIP at the defendant's expense.
Right, that's what I was doing as well. I don't know who asked, was he able, I know Ms. Falk got on, but Ms. Kim, you
Your
said
Honor.
he is working, correct?
I believe he's self-employed, but he does not have a project that generates income at this point. So he's also looking for other employment as well to generate income.
I'm concerned about the allegations, and I don't think it's going to be that expensive to find a one-day anger awareness course unless Ms. Falk can help me out in that regard. I'm not ordering an FVIP, so it's nothing like that. But
Your Honor, let me get in touch. I'll reach out to Ms. Gordon with pretrial and see if there's any, if she can assist me in determining the cost of that.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll hold on that, Ms. Bridgewater, and I'll come back to it to see whether I need to take that off of the conditions or leave it on with the one-day anger awareness course. But I certainly want to leave it as a 3,000 surety bond, no further contact and a stay away.
Your Honor, can I ask my client whether she is blood daughter or stepdaughter? Because I didn't have that information.
Okay, Mr. Longmire,
Stepdaughter, but been in her life since she was born. That's why I have the same last name, sir. I signed her birth certificate.
okay. Did you adopt her?
No, I didn't sign the birth certificate.
Okay. All right. That will be the ruling of the court. We'll determine about the one-day anger awareness course and let you know.
Yes, Your Honor.
For the
Thank you, Your Honor.
calendar. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Position 15, Monroe.
This is 22 CR 005257G, Deanna Monroe. You're charged with 1 count of battery family violence. The offense date is August the 7th, 2022. Pre-trial.
Your Honor, the defendant has 8 cycles beginning in 2003. All cycles are from the state of Rhode Island. Last arrest was May of 2015 for arrested on warrant, and that was out of Providence, Rhode Island. No disposition listed on that last arrested on a warrant charge. There's 1 prior misdemeanor conviction outside of the 10-year period. The defendant does meet criteria for unsecured judicial, an SOB through pre-trial. Nothing further.
All right. Ms. Reed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is regarding an incident that occurred at 661 Bolton Road, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. The victim in this case is the defendant's 17-year-old son, Jayon Monroe. That's spelled Jayon. The officer was dispatched to the location because Mr. Monroe had called the police. He said his mother had hit him and choked him. And the defendant had asked Mr. Monroe, because the defendant had asked Mr. Monroe to leave the house, and she took his cell phone after a dispute. During the altercation, Mr. Monroe tried to get his cell phone back, and both parties tussled, and the defendant is accused of biting and scratching Mr. Monroe. Officer concluded after looking at Mr. Monroe's, looking at him, that there was visible markings, and he also included that the defendant was a primary aggressor. On this case, the state is asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, and a 1-day anger awareness course. Nothing further from the state.
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Deanna Monroe is actually, she has been here in Georgia for 5 years, and she has 4 children, and 2 of them has autism at this point, and they are only, they're very young, 6 and 3 years old, 2 and 4 years old, Your Honor. So especially 4 years old is officially diagnosed with autism, and second is she's doing almost the same thing. So even they cannot have official diagnosis since she's too young, they are strongly suspecting that that's going to be the way it is. So they need a lot of care, and it's going to be 24/7 cares for those 2 kids. And she is residing with those 2 kids and 17-year-old son and another 15 at that location, incident location. That's where all of them reside together. And 17-year-old son did not want his privilege to have a cell phone to be taken away by his own mother, who paid for the cell phone and who's still paying for every expenses. She has an employment here in Georgia. She works as a waitress at Waffle House. She's the sole provider for 4 children, and she graduated from high school, and she has a 1 year of college, and she's trying to get her CNA course to be a nurse. Your Honor, we would like to request for signature on bond because her children really, really need her right now.
All right.
And she denies the allegation, Your Honor. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
She denies the allegation. She's
Okay.
also bruised all over her body right now.
All right. I'm trying to determine this address is 661 Bolton Road Northwest. That is the defendant's address.
I believe so, Your Honor, but I'll.
With the children, with the other minor children?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do we know if anyone else resides there, or we do not know probably?
No, there's nobody else reside there. Nope.
And do we have any information, and I may need to ask the defendant this, who is there caring for the other children while she's incarcerated?
Right now, cousin is taking care of those two kids at cousin's place. I spoke about that, Shirley, so I know that information.
So is the victim residing at the cousin's place, or is the victim still in the home?
I believe victim is in cousin's place right now as well.
And I certainly don't want a 17-year-old or the victim to be displaced, but I also have some concerns with Miss Monroe going back to this heated situation with her 17-year-old son. And she has no Georgia history?
Correct, Your Honor, according to GCIC.
Okay.
Your Honor, I believe this is her first arrest in Georgia.
Right. Okay, I was just double checking. I'm going to order a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, except for those prescribed. And the state, I believe, has requested a stay away from the 661 Bolton Road Northwest. But I'm having a little bit of an issue ordering the stay away, Miss Monroe, because our victim is only 17. And my question to you is, if you're allowed to go back to that residence with your other minor children, is it possible that your son could continue to stay with your cousin?
He can, or he likes to go. He already said he can go back over and if she allows him to. But he already said he was leaving.
Okay, I think you said that he already stated he was leaving.
Yeah, because he told me in the state of Georgia he can leave, so he's free to do that if he would like.
Well, I normally don't try to displace my victims. Obviously, I don't try to cause any more grief or harm to my victims. But I'm going to say that you can go back and reside in your home as long as your 17-year-old does not reside there. Sort of as I've ordered in the past, we have a one-time police escort to go back with you to make sure that your son is not residing there, because I don't want to put either of you in a situation to have this happen again. And if you go back there and he's already moved out and taken his belongings and is not residing there, then you can reside there. I'm not sure how he could reside there without you. He doesn't work or have income to provide for that location. So hopefully you can work that out so that you can reside there with your other children, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Can I say one more thing? His stuff is already packed. He was actually trying to leave that day, so his room, his house, everything's empty. All his stuff is out.
Well, take a police escort with you when you go back so that you don't end up back here in case he's there. Don't want to have another situation. I'm going to order no further contact with him for now. And so you're not to have any contact with your son at this point. Is he still in high school?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Can,
ma'am.
he is. Can your cousin or someone else help him with anything that he might need regarding, is he a senior or a junior?
I believe he's only a sophomore.
Oh.
He has trouble in school. This is a very unfortunate situation because we don't have a history like this.
So he's in the 10th grade?
10th grade with some 11th grade class.
Okay. And so someone else would be able to assist him with his schooling if you're to have no further contact with him?
I mean, well, he still gets a school bus, even though he's in high school, they still give him a bus, so he'll just have to get on the bus. But I mean, as far as anything else, I don't really know who's gonna wanna fend for him. Because, I mean, of the situation.
Right. I am very concerned that he is the victim would get some services. Ms. Reed, is it possible that the state can make some type of contact with this victim?
Yes.
Do you all have, I guess he doesn't have his cell phone, huh? To get in contact with this victim or?
Well, I understand, sorry, Your Honor, I understand we don't have any information on him right now.
Okay, is it possible we can have this cousin's number where he may be staying or somewhere so that the state could get in contact with him to possibly provide some services or find out where he can reside in the interim or while you're on bond, Ms. Monroe?
I think I already have a VFAPS case, so I talked to my social worker while I was here. So she said she's gonna handle that once we get home.
Okay. Okay.
Right now.
All right, that is good. So there is an open VFAX case and they are assisting him. Okay,
Yes, Judge.
good. Thank you for that information. That was one of my concerns since he is just 17.
Judge, may I say something? I wanted to just clarify if she's able to do the 1-day anger evaluation through pretrial.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for reminding me of that. We're gonna order that you do the 1-day anger awareness course through pretrial. Okay, Ms. Monroe. All right, and I think that should be the ruling of the court if it's not confusing, or is everyone clear?
Clear.
We're clear.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Your Honor, courtroom 3, can we put Ms. Kim, courtroom 3, and the Spanish interpreter into a breakout room? Because courtroom 3 is about to utilize this room for a plea.
Right.
I need to get it done as soon as possible.
All right, Ms. Kim, can you do that, please?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, great, thank you.
Position 8, Ms. Crocker is next.
Right.
Your Honor, just really quickly on position 14, Mr. Longmire's case, I did speak to pretrial services, and they could not give me an exact amount because it varies from program to program, but the starting cost is $25.
Okay, well, that doesn't sound terribly expensive. So I'm going to keep that condition on position 14 that he take a 1-day anger awareness course at his cost, Ms. Bridgewater. Thank you.
Your Honor, if I may, regarding position 8, Ms. Crocker, she declined my services, therefore she will be proceeding pro se.
Okay. All right, and who do we have before us again? This is Ms.
This is Ms. Gant's case, position 8, Ms. Crocker.
So this is 8. Okay.
Please pro se, Judge.
Thank you. This is 22 CR 005246B, Cassandra. Is it Croker or Crocker?
Crocker.
Crocker. You're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. The offense date is January the 26th, 2022. Are you intending to hire private counsel?
No, Your Honor, I'd like to go pro se.
Do you understand the risk in going pro se?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
And you are to understand and know all the rules and laws of the state of Georgia and representing yourself.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're going to do that against my wishes and admonitions to you in order to represent yourself.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and as I stated before, you do have a right to remain silent, but anything that you say about the facts and occurrences of this case can and will be used against you by the state at a later date. Are you aware of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and you still intend to go forward pro se?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Judge. I don't mean to interrupt. We're still waiting for the Spanish interpreter for the breakout for courtroom 3.
Okay, Mr. yes, there he goes.
I sent him an invite. He has to join it.
Okay, can you join the breakout? Is it Mr. Saka or Soka?
So, it doesn't allow me, to come.
Getting a bad connection on your part. You may have to close out and come back in. I can barely hear you. Your connection may not be good, which is why you may not be getting the invite, but maybe
I think we just lost him, Your Honor.
We just lost him. Yeah, it sounded like his connection was bad. Hopefully when he comes back in, you'll be able, is that Miss Champion?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, hopefully when he comes back in, you'll be able to put him in that breakout.
Yes, ma'am. As soon as he comes back in, I'll assign him again.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, there's information in the warrant for position 8 that leads me to believe that we may need a breakout.
Okay.
And I don't know if Ms. Gant would like to join, or I know her services have been denied, but I'm not sure how we go about this in this situation.
Yes, can you give
Your
us?
Honor, I interviewed my former client. I do not have any concerns about her competency at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, so we will not put you in the breakout, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Champion, can you do another breakout with Ms. Falk? And
Mr. Dudley.
Myself and Mr. Dudley?
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So hold on, Miss Crocker. We're going to break out and we'll come back.
Hey, excuse me, Miss Nicole. The family, you guys can sign out for Miss, what's your? For Miss Naomi, Thomas. The family for Miss Naomi Thomas, you all can sign out. She's already got a bond. I don't know if they heard.
Yes, ma'am, I heard you.
Someone with the name of Nicole, you need to be muted. I'm not sure what case you're here for. Miss Nicole?
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am, I'm exiting out right now. Yes, ma'am, I'm exiting out right now, Judge.
Oh, that's okay. All right. All right, courtroom 2. Courtroom 2, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Croker, or is it Crocker? I'm sorry.
Crocker.
I apologize, not want to mispronounce your name, Miss Crocker. I do have concerns with you representing yourself. And again, I asked you a series of questions initially. Is it possible that if you were provided another public defender that you would accept those services?
No, Your Honor, I'm dealing with a different case and I refuse to deal with an actual case that's going on behind my back. We're also talking about children.
Well, and so that those also raise more.
Oh, and I have an auto accident attorney already. So I have an attorney working on a different matter that's going through Fulton County. Or my mistake, Gwinnett County.
But if that attorney is representing you on an auto accident, this is a criminal case.
I realize that, and I already know that there is no such thing as a criminal trespass out of Alpharetta. I was in the presence of Alpharetta yesterday. The residence in question is my mom's assisted living.
Okay. My concern again is that I'm not sure that I'm comfortable with you representing yourself today. Just because of the nature of the case.
I would still like to go pro se, Your Honor, and I'm willing to have a signature bond if you're willing to do that. It's a misdemeanor. I have not received any official paperwork on this criminal trespass, nor do I have the original copy of the criminal trespass for January 26th, because I happen to be hospitalized at Charter Peachford on January 26th, because I was escorted off of the premises, but never issued a criminal trespass. So yes, I would like to go pro se.
Is there any possibility of you contacting this attorney today to see if they're willing to represent you? Whoever this other attorney is?
No, Your Honor, because it's an auto accident attorney.
Well, this allegation is somewhat serious. And I just want you
Oh, a criminal trespass is a serious case? No, Your Honor. It is actually a misdemeanor and it's my mother's residence who's 80 years old.
I understand. We'll go forward and see where it goes, but I do have some concerns on you representing yourself because of some of your history, but we'll get started and see where it goes. But I may at some point stop the hearing if I have the same concerns that I'm having now and have you reset until tomorrow to bring back your counsel with you.
No, Your Honor, no, Your Honor, I would like it to be done today. I actually have a feeding tube in my stomach right now, along with blood pressure medication back at my house. I am from DeKalb County. That is where I need to go back so I can have my feeding tube. Last night.
Okay, I need you to calm down. I need you first to calm down.
Fulton County Jail transported me to Grady. Grady dismissed me. They said, we can't help her, even though I have a feeding tube. So please allow me to get back to my house. If I need to stand up to show you my feeding tube for superior mesenteric artery syndrome, ma'am, or Your Honor, I will do that.
No, I'm not interested in you showing that, but I do have some concerns about you representing yourself. So let's go ahead and have the hearing. And I understand obviously that it's a misdemeanor. I'm very much aware, but I do have some other concerns here with you representing yourself. So let's start and see where it goes. And depending on how I feel as we go along, we'll see where this goes. But I do have some grave concerns about you representing yourself, Ms. Crocker, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, pretrial, what do you have?
Your Honor, the GCIC indicates the defendant has 6 cycles beginning in 2001. The last arrest was October of 2017 for battery, family violence in Cobb County. The charge was null prost April the 19th of 2018. There's a first offender out of Fulton County in 2001 for willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, simple battery, and terroristic threats. That case was sealed in 2021 under 01 SC 07802. In addition, there's a 2013 conviction for battery, family violence under case 13 CR 399795. The defendant does meet criteria for an SOB through pretrial. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. All right, Mr. Dudley.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on January 26th of 2022 at 100 Summerby Drive in Alpharetta, Georgia at room 311. The resident, Miss Louise Wright, asked the defendant to leave several times, and when the officers arrived, Sergeant Hoffman informed the defendant that management and Miss Wright both wanted her to leave the premises. The defendant refused to leave. Sergeant Hoffman called the AMR medics to come and do an evaluation. And once the defendant was taken into custody, she was transported to Norfolk Hospital, later charged with criminal trespass. The state recommends a $1,000 surety bond. No further contact with the resident, Miss Louise Wright. Stay away from the incident location, MHET, or social worker visits, Your Honor. Nothing further from the state.
And that victim again is Louise Wright?
Yes, spelling LOISWRIGHT.
Your Honor, her
Are
name
you
is
saying, Now, Ms. Crocker, if you're going to represent yourself, I need you to be quiet until I've called on you or asked you. You will not interrupt the prosecutors when they're speaking. I will come to you next, so hold on. Is it Louis or Louise? Is it male or female?
Female.
Female, and it's Louis or Louise?
I believe Louise.
It's Lois.
Oh, maybe it's LOIS?
Yes, Lois.
That's what Louis.
Okay.
Thank you for that correction.
All right, and this 100 Summer Vine?
Somerby, SOMERBY Drive in Alpharetta, Georgia.
And is that an assisted living facility?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. All right. Now, Ms. Crocker, it is your turn to speak. I think you need to, again, be careful on what you state and how you state it, because it can affect the further prosecution of your case.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand that. Lois, L-O-I-S, Wright, is my adoptive mother. In
Okay.
fact, I was just at her residence over there on Saturday, two days ago, with the invitation from her. I also went to Alpharetta because I was told for months that I still had this criminal trespass warrant. Alpharetta, when I spoke with them on Saturday at the corner of Encore Parkway and North Point Parkway, they stated, Ms. Crocker, you have absolutely no warrant out of Alpharetta. In fact, Roswell PD 2 months ago, Cobb County, Cherokee County, they've all told me, even all the way out in California, told me, oh, there's a misdemeanor criminal trespass out of Alpharetta. Well, I have honestly gone to the Alpharetta Police Station off of Old Milton Parkway, which is now also the North Fulton Precinct. They have no record. They can't even provide an original copy of the criminal trespass. Why? Because one was never written.
Well, one has been accused at this point. Is that correct, Mr. Dudley?
Yes, Your Honor. Well, the defendant was told to leave several times by the resident, and then the resident was also got the building informed, and the building also wanted her to leave as well. And it is the Atria North Point is the name of that assisted living facility that requested her to leave. And the officer, Sergeant Hoffman, let her know that this was the case, and at which point she refused.
Okay,
Sorry.
Ms. Crocker, what were you going to say?
Your Honor, again, on January 26th, when this so-called criminal trespass was written, I was actually I was transported to Wellstar North Fulton. From Wellstar North Fulton, I was transported all the way over to Charter Beachford.
I understand, but what is
and since then, I have been back at the Atria. In fact, it spent the night at the Atria with my mother, sleeping on the floor. And management has been quite aware of it. In fact, I was there this past Saturday. So if we need to get my mother on the line or the original officers that supposedly wrote this, I'm willing.
Right. This is not your hearing on the charge. This is just a bond hearing. But Mr. Dudley, what's the date of the accusation?
January 26th of 2022.
So the accusation was filed on that date, or that's the warrant date?
Oh, that's the accusation was filed today.
Okay. And that's because she was arrested on yesterday.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so the accusation has been filed against you, Ms. Crocker. So I do want you to understand the accusation would not have necessarily, just depends, been filed in January, even though that's the incident date. A lot of times the accusations are not filed on the same date of the incident or the police report, okay? So I just want you to understand that.
Again, I would like all copies of all paperwork, including when I was getting booked in here to the Fulton County Jail. Not a single piece of paper has been given to me.
All right, we will make sure they will give you that. At this moment, I'm trying to determine and making sure, as I determine this bond, that the victim, which is your mother, will be safe. And I guess
Again, I just saw my mother on Saturday, and in fact, she's expecting for me to go visit her as well, because I am allowed at that residence.
Well, if I issue this order today for the bond, you will not be allowed to go back there because you will be under bond and under this accusation for criminal.
You cannot do that to assisted living.
Excuse me?
And I already have a restraining order that's already been placed on me all the way out of California. Again, my mother, my 80-year-old mother, allows me to be at her facility. So let's get the Atria on the phone.
Well, I'm not,
Again, I'm not playing this game. I already realized it's a game at this point. My 5-year-old.
all right, we're gonna reset this for tomorrow.
I think that is recommended, Your Honor. The state
Exactly.
strongly recommends an MHET.
Yeah,
I didn't mean
we're
to
gonna-
interrupt. I'm
we're
sorry.
gonna order, right, we'll order the MHET, you know, and I have some concerns, Ms. Fall, yeah, and I have concerns with her mother. She just may not be able to handle it at 80 in assisted living. And you guys certainly, as quick as you can, get in touch with them to find out. I have a feeling they probably don't want her to come back, but they're probably trying not to upset the apples there, upset her mom as a resident. So what I'll do is we'll order the MHET and reset her.
Come on, honey, what if I already have a second?
So who's gonna send me that order for you to sign, Judge?
Well, Mr. Dudley.
Your Honor, I can submit it. I actually have an MHE2 order.
Yeah, and with the, okay, all right. Ms. Falk will send that to us and we'll do that. What I'll do is, with the MHET, Ms. Falk, do you want me to go ahead and set a bond as well, surety bond?
Your Honor, what Judge Morrow has done in the past is give a surety bond, reset it for tomorrow to see if we can have maybe, and I know Ms. Gant has already been out there, but to see if maybe Mr. Howard can go out there and try to make contact. And then we can go ahead and also file the MHET out of an abundance of caution.
Right. Let me do that. And let's get word to Mr. Howard to go out and see if he can speak with her. And I will sign the MHET, but also I will set a $10,000 surety bond. Let's do that. And a stay away from the incident location. And no drugs.
Are we still putting that on for tomorrow?
I'm sorry?
Are we still gonna hear again tomorrow?
Yes, let's put it on for tomorrow. Mr. Howard may make some leeway and there may be possibly an amendment or modification to the order. But I at least want to do that for today. And we'll give it a $10,000 surety bond and a stay away from the incident location, MHET, and ask that Mr. Howard is a supervisor to go by and see if he can speak to the victim regarding representation. And if it's on the calendar tomorrow and they decide to do any modifications to the bond, that could be done tomorrow.
Okay.
Position 10, Honeycutt.
All right, this is 22 CR 005253F, Sean Honeycutt. Battery, you're charged with 1 count of battery, family violence, 2nd count of criminal trespass and damage to property, both with the offense date of August the 7th, 2022. Pre-trial.
The defendant has 23 cycles beginning in 2006. He is a multi-state offender with arrests from the states of Arkansas, Tennessee, Florida, and Georgia. Last arrest was December of 2020 for theft by receiving, alter, change, engine, or other numbers, false evidence, or title or registration in Roanoke County, Arkansas, no disposition listed. Two prior misdemeanor convictions from the state of Tennessee outside of the 10-year period, and 2 misdemeanor convictions from the state of Georgia, a 2016 DUI from DeKalb County, a 2017 possession of marijuana less than an ounce out of Gordon County. The defendant meets criteria for an SOB through pretrial. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Dudley.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place at 115 Apache Road in South Fulton. The defendant and the victim, Mahogany Rancher, MAHOGANY WRANCHER, got into a verbal altercation. The defendant then snatched Miss Rancher's glasses off of her face. When she attempted to retrieve her glasses back from the defendant, he pushed Miss Rancher into a bed of rocks. When officers arrived at the location, they observed bleeding from multiple areas around her neck, her head, and her ear. The state has a concern that there may be a risk of influencing the witness, as the defendant and the victim have a child together and some sort of relationship with each other. And due to the fact that he's a multi-state offender, Your Honor, there's a possible flight risk. The state recommends a $3,500 surety bond, and that'll be a breakdown of $3,000 for the battery family violence, $500 for the criminal trespass, no further contact with the victim, and to stay away from the incident location, along with no alcohol, drugs, or weapon, Your Honor. And that'll be it for the state.
All right. Ms. Gant.
And Your Honor, if I may ask for a repeat, is it $3,000 or is it $2,000 for the battery family violence?
I think it was 3,000. 3,000 for that, and 500 was the recommendation of the state for a total of 3,500.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, Mr. Sean Honeycutt is 35 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 8 years. He shares a 1-year-old daughter with the complaining witness, Ms. Mahogany Rancher, who is on the call. They are successfully co-parenting. Your Honor, we are opposed to the stay away at the incident location. My client informs me that that is his residence and that Ms. Rancher lives there with him. Your Honor, I did have the occasion to speak with Ms. Rancher. She informs me that she wants to continue having contact with him. Therefore, we do not believe that the state's contention that my client will interfere with or intimidate the witness is a valid argument. Your Honor, Mr. Honeycutt completed high school. He has some college. He studied architectural engineering. He is self-employed. He informs me that he owns a trucking company, a record label, and a car wash. He strongly denies the allegations. And Your Honor, we heard from pretrial, my client does have some history. However, I did not hear any convictions whatsoever for violence. He is recommended for a signature bond. Therefore, I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Honeycutt's behalf. And again, we are opposed to any no contact and or stay away orders. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Rancher, do you wish to address the court today?
Yes, I do.
Raise your right hand for me. Do you affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth under the penalty of perjury?
Yes.
All right.
Your Honor, I do apologize for interrupting you. I would ask that Ms. Rancher limit her comments to her desire for contact.
All right. I will take that into consideration. Go ahead, Ms. Rancher.
I just wanted to put out there that I actually tripped and fell, and I told the officer that multiple times, but he told me if I didn't say that if I didn't say that he hit me, that I would also go to jail for battery. So yeah, I didn't want that to happen at all. So, but I still didn't ever say that Sean like beat me, and I'm not scared of him or anything like that. I do wish to continue co-parenting with him, and I'm actually fine. Like, I'm fine. So.
Okay, and you all have a 1-year-old child together?
Yes, we do.
And do you all both reside at that address?
Yes, ma'am. And this is also like never happened, so.
How long have you all been residing together at that address?
2 years. we have been in a relationship since I was 18. So,
Okay. And whose name is on the lease at that location?
Sean's.
I'm sorry?
Sean's.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And your name is not on the lease?
No, it is not.
Are you working as well?
No, not right now.
All right, I'm going to order a $3,500 surety bond. I'm going to order, and it is trying to look at the situation here. I'm going to order so that there is some cooling down period here from this verbal altercation, that Mr. Honeycutt stay away from this location of 115 Apache, is it Apache Road?
Yes.
I'm going to order for him to stay away while on bond. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim with you. And if there is any visitation that's allowed with your child, that be done by third party. So that the two of you will not have any contact with each other. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, except for anything prescribed to him. I'm going to order a 1-day anger awareness course as well. Anything else, counsel, that I need to take up?
Yes, Your Honor, a one-time law enforcement escort.
Okay, a one-time law enforcement escort for Mr. Honeycutt to go and retrieve any personal items that he may have there that he will need while he's on bond.
I don't need it, ma'am. If you all don't want me to go back, it's fine.
Mr. Honeycutt, please remain silent, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I will add that in the order. If you don't need it, you don't need it, but it'll be there in case you do.
I don't need it. Thank you.
Okay. All right, if that's it, that will conclude this case.
Judge, what's your breakdown?
Breakdown is 3,000 on the battery, family violence, and 500 on the criminal trespass.
And this is a good bond, correct?
Good bond, yes.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for your time, Ms. Rancher. Good luck to you.
Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Position 22, Ms. Williams.
All right, this is 22 CR 005265D. Jordan Williams, you're charged with 1 count of simple battery, family violence, offense date August the 7th, 2022, pretrial.
The GCIC indicates the defendant has no criminal record on file. She does meet criteria for an SOB through pretrial. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. All
Your
right.
Honor, this is my case.
Yes, Ms. Johnson.
The incident occurred at 1845 Piedmont Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia. The victim in this case is Mr. Vincent Lee, common spelling. The officers responded to the above location. Mr. Vincent Lee showed the officers a video of Ms. Williams striking him and yelling at him. Based on the video, the officers were able to see that she was the primary aggressor. Mr. Lee did also state that the officers had been to the previous location the night before and asked them to separate, and they came back the night after when this incident occurred. Mr. Lee also let the office know that they've had these incidents for years prior. So although this is her first arrest, this has been occurring for years. This is only the first time that she has actually been arrested. He has stated that he does not want any contact with her. For that reason, Your Honor, moving on, I would ask for a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with Mr. Lee. I'm also asking that 1 law enforcement officer will agree to have her go and get her things for that time. And I'm also asking for 1-day anger awareness.
Yes, Your Honor. Jordan Williams, she is 23 years old, Your Honor, and she was born and raised here in Georgia. And she has no children. She's not married. However, she has aunts and cousins here in Georgia. And he's working as a licensed beauty stylist. She graduated from high school, and next Monday, August 15, she starts her nursing school. So she wants to definitely be out of the jail before that. Your Honor, it is her name that is on the lease. So she's willing to go through the eviction process if necessary, or she may just go and terminate the lease if that's the only way that they can start all over. But anyway, they don't have a relationship. They broke up. He is no longer he's now ex-boyfriend. It is okay to stay away or no further contact. And this is her first incident. We would like to definitely ask for signature on bond, Your Honor.
Can I add something real quick?
Ms. Kim,
Ms. Williams, I strongly recommend you to stay silent unless it is directly related to the bond issue. You have a, yeah, we don't want to talk about the facts here.
I'm not going to talk, well, actually, I am going to talk about a fact.
No, please do not talk about the facts.
All I'm going to say is that I wasn't born and raised in Georgia, so that was wrong. I was born in West Virginia and I was raised there. I've been in Georgia for 3 years. I also want to say that the lease is in my name, and I told the lawyer that I went to the leasing office yesterday afternoon after the first police incident, and I had asked for the lease to be canceled because when the police first arrived, they notified me that in Georgia, because he has been living at the address that technically is also his residence, which is why I was going to cancel the lease so that way that no one would be there and I could get out of the lease. And I'm pretty sure the lease office could verify that I wanted to cancel the lease.
No problem.
All right. All right, I'm going to order a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial. I'm going to order the one-day anger awareness course through pretrial. I'm going to order a stay away from the 1845 Piedmont Avenue, which looks like that's already.
Your Honor, the address is on my name, and I also still have all of my property in there, so I do need to get my property out of there. And also,
If you would hold on 1 second, hold on 1 second.
Okay.
I'm going to order a one-time law enforcement escort to go back with you to that location to retrieve your personal belongings. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, Mr. Vincent Lee. And did I say the one-day anger awareness, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond? So you can go back with the police escort to get your items so that, again, you don't have any other incidents with Mr. Lee in case he is there. So you need not go back by yourself.
Okay.
All right. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay.
Position 12, Jordan.
While they're bringing that case up, Your Honor, what was the bond on 22 again?
$4,000 signature bond.
Through pretrial services?
Through pretrial, yes.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, and this position again, I'm sorry.
Position 12, Jordan.
Okay. This is 22 CR 005254A. Darnell Marcus Jordan. You're charged with DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, and driving following too close. The offense date is August the 7th, 2022. Pre-trial.
Defendant has 5 cycles beginning in 2006. He's a multi-state offender with arrests from the states of Florida and Georgia. Last arrest was December of 2020 for battery and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree. It's a misdemeanor out of Bartow County, Georgia. No disposition listed, Your Honor. 1 prior misdemeanor conviction outside the 10-year period from the state of Florida. The defendant does meet criteria for an SOB through pretrial. Nothing further.
All right. All right, Ms. Duncan.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday in the area of Georgia 400 southbound. This incident resulted in a car crash. On this incident, the defendant was following too closely to another car and resulted in a crash. Here, when officers made contact with the black Dodge Charger driven by the defendant, they noticed an odor of alcoholic beverage coming from his breath. And they noted that the HGN in this case was consistent with a person being under the influence, as well as on the standardized field sobriety evaluations, the responses supported the probable cause for a person being intoxicated in this incident. He was evaluated by, he was read implied consent, and he refused to do a breath test. However, Your Honor, given the seriousness of this offense, we have a concern that this defendant is a danger to himself and the other drivers. As I previously stated, this offense did result in a crash on Georgia 400 southbound. Given that this offense did result in a crash and the defendant, there was probable cause to conclude that the defendant was intoxicated at the time of the crash. The state is going to be requesting a $5,000 total surety. That's $4,500 for the DUI and $500 surety for the following too closely: no alcohol, drugs, weapons, no driving unless allowed through the limited permit by DDS, no further violations of Georgia law, and nothing further from the state.
Okay. Ms. Gant, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Daryl Jordan is 34 years old. He has in the Georgia area a 13-year-old son and a 7-year-old daughter. Your Honor, he completed high school. He also has a Bachelor of Science degree in exercise science and fine arts. He is gainfully employed. He has been self-employed in the entertainment, TV, film, acting and modeling industry for 5 years. Your Honor, he does have ties to the community. We did not hear about any driving offenses. I am requesting a signature bond. Of course, Mr. Jordan denies the allegations. If Your Honor determines that he's ineligible for a signature bond, I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,500. That would be $1,000 for the DUI less safe and $500 for the driving following too closely. And we are opposed to any driving conviction, any driving conditions, as my client is presumed innocent at this point. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to order the $5,000 signature bond through pretrial. It'll be $4,500 on the DUI, $500 on the following too close, for a total of $5,000. And that surety bond through pretrial, there will be no drugs, alcohol, or weapons used while on bond. And I'm going to order that he not drive unless he has a valid driver's license through DDS. So if your driver's license is valid, you can drive, but if not, you should not, unless you get a limited license or permission from DDS. All right.
And Your Honor, for clarification, is the bond a signature bond through pretrial services?
It is.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, $4,500 and $500.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Uh-huh.
Position 13, Lester.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, have a seat.
All right, this is 22 CR 005255A. Jabari Lester, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. The offense date is August the 7th, 2022. Pretrial.
Your Honor, the defendant has 3 cycles beginning in 2015. Last arrest was June of 2017 out of Atlanta, out of CWAC charge with wage sounding. The charge was null prost February the 6th of 2018 on case 17 SC 153565. Record also indicates probation in Fulton County for a first offender probation for criminal attempt to commit a felony, case 18 SC 158570, 1 year confinement, 9 years probation. The disposition date was May 1st of 2018. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Ms. Reed.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident occurred on August 7th, 2022. Location was the Lindbergh MARTA station at 2420 Piedmont Road Northeast. Currently, the defendant has a $1,000 surety bond, and the state is asking that that bond stays in place. The officers responded to an incident at the Lindbergh MARTA station due to a fight on the train between the defendant and an Anderson Johnson. Both the defendant and Johnson had said that the defendant struck him in the face, and the defendant said that Johnson grabbed his injured shoulder, and both parties were placed in handcuffs. The defendant was arrested because there was actually a 60-day suspension in effect as of June 12th, 2022, where he had to stay away from the MARTA locations. So the state is asking again that the $1,000 surety bond stays in effect and that the defendant stays away from all MARTA locations through the 60-day suspension. That's all from the state.
All right, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jabari Lester is 26 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He is the proud father of a 5-year-old son. He informs me that he does not have anyone to assist him with bond. Mr. Lester completed high school. He also studied welding in college. He is unemployed at this time, Your Honor. He's been unemployed for the past 2 weeks, and prior to becoming unemployed, he worked in the capacity of a security guard at a nightclub. He denies the allegations, and I would just ask the court to consider that my client is not charged for battery. This is a non-violent offense. He is a presumed innocent. I am requesting a signature bond on his behalf through the jail, and if Your Honor determines that he's ineligible, then the bond of no more than $1,000. Thank you. And Your Honor, if I may, we are opposed to any stayaways unless there's an active MARTA suspension in place.
I think Ms. Reed mentioned that there was, correct?
Yes, Your Honor. There is an active stay away. It was in effect June 12th, 2022. Not showing up on his GCIC. It may have been an ordinance violation, but I can confirm that.
All right. And so what I'm going to do is order the $1,000 surety bond. I'm going to order a stay away from all MARTA. It looks like that 60-day suspension that's already in place from June 12th. It only has a few more days, I guess, before it is over.
That's right.
Yeah, if my math serves me correctly. So that 60-day suspension is almost up, but I'm going to order a stay away then from the Lindbergh station, which is the incident location. And Mr. Lester, you need to govern yourself accordingly. In the meantime, while you're on bond, you should not be at the Lindbergh station. I won't ban you from all MARTA while you're on bond at this point, but you do have one in place, looks like until the 12th already. So you need to be very careful if you get out on bond and go back to MARTA, because you could be rearrested again. I'm going to order that there be no further contact with you and the victim, Anderson Johnson, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. Maybe your best way to take Uber or some other ride shares in the interim while you're on bond, so that you don't end up getting arrested again. All right.
And Your Honor, I do have a question about the ruling. Did Your Honor say stay away from all MARTAs until August 12th, and then from that point, stay away only from the Lindbergh incident, or is it just to stay away from the Lindbergh location?
No, it looks like the suspension will be to the 12th from all MARTA, it sounds like. And then my order will start on the 13th, staying away from the Lindbergh station.
Okay, thank you, Your
That
Honor.
is correct, yeah.
Yeah. Position 9, this is the interpreter case.
Okay.
Can you hear me, Your Honor?
I can.
Perfect.
Raise your right hand for me. And interpreter, and I was going to, again, Mr., and I forgot what you told me. Is it Soka?
Soka.
Soka, okay. And Mr. Soka, do you affirm that you will faithfully interpret from English to, is it Spanish?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. English to Spanish and Spanish to English, the proceedings before the court in an accurate manner to the best of your skill and knowledge with no embellishments?
I do.
All right, thank you. All right, we will get started. This is case number 22 CR 005247G. And it is State versus Ricardo. Pronounce the names for me, Mr. Soka, his last name.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, I don't have it written in front of me.
Oh,
I
it's
apologize.
CUNCTLAC
I'm
hyphen
sorry. I'm sorry, Your Honor, a little slower. CUN.
CUECTLAC hyphen INOCENCIA.
We can just ask him as well. Señor, ¿cómo se pronuncia su nombre?
Queclach.
Quelcrack, Your Honor.
Queclach.
Okay, Quinn Black. You're charged with one count of obstruction of a law enforcement officer on August the 6th, 2022.
Entonces, este sería el caso número 22CR00524CG. Ricardo Cuelcuat. Señor, usted tiene un cargo de obstrucción contra un policía, de un oficial de policía.
All right, and pre-trial, do you have anything?
The defendant has 2 cycles beginning in 2010. The last arrest was January of this year, 2022. I'm sorry, July of this year, 2022, for giving false name to law enforcement officer. The case is open to Judge Mather, M-A-T-H-E-R, under 22 CR 004312G as in Gordon. Defendant meets criteria for a pretrial release. Nothing further.
Okay.
Entonces le preguntan a ver si has tenido arrestos previos. Dicen que sí, que fuiste arrestado en el 2010 y el último arresto fue en julio del 2020 por darle nombre falso a un policía. Ese caso está al frente del juez Mather.
All right, Mr. Dudley.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place on July 19th of 2022.
Give me that offense date again.
July 19th of 2022.
All right, on the calendar, it has August the 6th, but maybe that's a mistype.
Entonces dicen que este incidente sucedió el 19 de julio y dicen que parece que también habían escrito que sucedió el 6 de agosto. Quizá fue un error.
You're right, Your Honor. Actually, it is August the 6th, 2022. That was my mistake, Your Honor.
Okay, just wanted to make sure it wasn't on the calendar. Go ahead.
It took place at the Shell gas station at 685 Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell.
Entonces que este incidente sucedió en una estación de gasolina Shell en 685 Holcomb Bridge que queda en Roswell.
The defendant was drinking a beer behind the Shell gas station in violation of Roswell City Ordinance 3.5.9.
El individuo estaba tomando una bebida alcohólica atrás de la estación de servicio y estaba quebrando la ley de Roswell 3.59.
When officers arrived to detain the defendant and the two other individuals he was drinking with, the defendant walked away from the officer after being told to stop.
Y cuando la policía se acercó a este individuo y dos otras personas, cuando fue hacia ellos, el individuo empezaron a caminar en el sentido contrario, tratando de evadir el policía.
He was caught at the front of the store and handcuffed and charged with obstruction of law enforcement officers.
Lo pudieron detener al frente de la tienda y le dieron el cargo de obstrucción contra un oficial.
The defendant has criminal history within the last 5 years from New York.
El acusado tiene algunos cargos previos en los últimos 5 años, más que nada de Nueva York.
The most recent being an arrest in 2018 for burglary, 3rd degree.
El más reciente fue en el 2000. I'm sorry, was it 2018?
2018, yes.
En el 2018, y ese fue por robo en el 3er grado.
The state has concern that the defendant is a flight risk.
El estado tiene miedo de que el señor se vaya a huir o a fugar del estado.
And recommends a $2,500 surety bond, a stay away from incident location, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons.
Estamos pidiendo una fianza de $2,500, que no regrese al lugar del incidente y que deje de consumir droga o alcohol.
Nothing further from the state.
Más nada del estado.
All right, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Ricardo Queclac Inocencia is 31 years old.
Entonces, el señor Ricardo Queclac tiene 31 años.
He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 1.5 years, and he does not have anyone to assist with bond.
Él ha estado viviendo en el área de Atlanta por 1 año y medio y él no tiene a nadie quien lo puede asistir con su fianza.
He is a high school graduate and is currently employed in landscaping.
Él se recibió del bachiller y en este momento está trabajando en jardinería.
He denies the allegations, and I would just ask the court to consider that my client has a language barrier, Your Honor, and did not understand any instructions whatsoever given to him.
Pido que le den una fianza y así hubo el problema de que el problema el idioma y él no pudo entender lo que el policía le estaba diciendo.
I am requesting a signature bond as he is recommended.
Estoy pidiendo que le den una fianza para que él misma lo pueda firmar.
If Your Honor determines that he's ineligible for a signature bond, I would ask for a bond, the lowest bond possible, as he does not have the means to pay anything toward bond.
Y pido que lo dejen, que le den una fianza. Y si le dan una fianza, pido que le den la cantidad más baja posible porque él no tiene los medios para pagar.
And we are unopposed to the stay away, nothing further.
Y no estamos en contra de no poder regresar al lugar del incidente, más nada.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr. Dudley.
the state would like to make the court aware that the defendant was given a $1,000 signature bond on July 5th for giving false name by Judge Morrow.
Y entonces está diciendo que el Estado ya le había dado una fianza anteriormente por dar nombres falsos y eso fue al frente del juez Morrow.
And he has several open city ordinance cases for unlawful consumption where he gave a false name.
Y él tiene varias otras multas dado por la ciudad por estar consumiendo bebidas alcohólicas o estar intoxicado donde ha dado nombres falsos.
Nothing further.
All right.
Right.
All right, I am going to rule that We will enter a 2,500 surety bond.
Entonces voy a decidir que le voy a dar una fianza de en la cantidad de $2,500.
I'm going to order a stay away from the Shell gas station at 685 Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell.
Voy a ordenar que él no se acerque al local de 685 Holcomb Bridge que queda en Roswell.
He is not to go back there under any circumstances.
Él no debería regresar allí bajo ninguna circunstancias.
No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
No poder tener ningún droga o alcohol mientras libre bajo fianza.
And that should conclude the ruling unless counsel has anything else.
Y eso debería concluir ya la audiencia si los abogados no tienen más nada.
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Nothing further from the state.
Excuse me, Your Honor, repeat that bond, please.
2,500 surety bond, good bond.
Thank you, ma'am.
Position 16, Mr. Peraza. Put your mask up.
All right, this is 22 CR 005237H. Mr. Fernando Pedraza, you're charged with 1 count of criminal trespass with the offense date of August the 4th, 2022.
Entonces este sería el caso CR 00508, el caso de Fernando Pedraza. Señor, usted tiene el cargo de un incidente que sucedió el 4 de agosto por traspasar a propiedad privada.
All right, pretrial.
Your Honor, the record indicates the defendant has no criminal record on file. He does meet criteria to be released through pretrial. Nothing further.
All right.
Piden si tienes algún historial criminal y dicen que no hay ningún historial criminal y que sí le pueden dar una fianza.
All right, Miss Duncan.
Yes, Your Honor, these offenses alleged occurred on August the 4th, 2022 at 1000 Holcomb Bridge Road, which is the Roswell Creek Apartments, apartment 803J.
Entonces, este incidente sucedió el 4 de agosto en la dirección del domicilio de 1000 Holcomb Bridge Way, que es un apartamento 803J.
In this incident, several officers were dispatched to this location in reference to a criminal trespass call.
En este incidente llamaron varios policías por individuos a ver traspasar a propiedad privada.
At the time they arrived, officers made contact with a staff member of the Roswell Creek Apartments, Ms. Bianca Bow, B-O-U last name.
Cuando los policías llegaron a los apartamentos, se contactaron con la señora Bianca Bow y ella es la persona encargada de esos apartamentos.
She stated that she had witnessed the incident where 3 individuals were squatting in the unattended apartment 803J.
Ella dijo que ella observó 3 individuos que se estaban quedando sin pagar en el apartamento 803J. Había sido invadido ese apartamento.
She stated to officers that neither of the 3 individuals were residents and that she was scared during this encounter because they gained access to the apartment by cutting the screens on the back door.
Y ella dijo que ninguno de estos individuos eran residentes y ella le había dado miedo por la manera que habían entrado, donde le habían quitado las mallas protectivas así de mosquitos a las puertas de atrás para entrar a la residencia.
She documented the damage by taking a photograph and took pictures of and video footage of the suspects via her cell phone, which she furnished to the officers.
Ella tomó fotos de los daños hechos y también tomó videos de los individuos adentro y ellos le pudo mostrar eso al policía.
In addition, Your Honor, it is stated in the facts that there was a previous trespass against this same defendant that was pulled up in the office records.
Y también después de mirar bien, ya le habían llamado la atención a este individuo por haber entrado a esta propiedad privada sin permiso y ya tenían otro incidente donde él había hecho esto anteriormente.
And the defendant was identified as one of the 3 individuals who had trespassed on the property because one of the officers on scene had had a previous encounter with the defendant.
Y el individuo lo pudieron identificar como esa persona porque hasta uno de los policías ya había tenido contacto con este individuo anteriormente en otro caso.
The officer was able to pull the previous identification photographs and compare it to the photographs that the staff member took and identify the defendant.
El policía pudo sacar fotos del individuo que ya tenían por el arresto anteriormente y después compararlos a las fotos que tenía la señora encargada de los apartamentos.
There is a preset bond in this case of $1,500 surety. The state is going to be asking that that bond remain as set, given that we have a concern about the risk of reoffense, given the statements by the witnesses in the case.
Le han dado una fianza de $1,500. El Estado va a pedir que no le vayan a reducir esa cantidad, ya como hay un peligro y un miedo de que él vaya a reofender.
And the circumstances alleged of previous criminal trespass, additional to the surety bond, we're going to request a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, and weapons, and no further violations of Georgia law.
La apartment ya estaba así.
También como le habían dado su fianza anteriormente, son las mismas reglas que su última fianza, que no vaya a regresar a esos apartamentos al lugar del incidente y que no vaya a usar ningún tipo de droga o alcohol.
Nothing further from the state.
Más nada del Estado.
Your Honor, Mr. Pedraza is 26 years old.
Entonces, el señor Pedraza tiene 26 años de edad.
He has been here in Georgia for the last 6 years.
Él ha estado aquí en el estado de Georgia por los últimos 6 años.
No, por favor.
And he has 1 child and he resides with his brother.
Y él tiene un hijo y él en el momento vive con su hermano.
Which is different from the incident location.
Que es un lugar diferente de donde el incidente sucedió.
He actually is employed as a subcontractor to provide landscaping maintenance at Roswell Creek Apartment Complex.
Él trabaja como contratista independiente haciendo trabajo de jardinería en ese complejo en Roswell.
He works Monday through Friday from 5 a.m. until 7 p.m.
Él trabaja de lunes a viernes de 5 de la mañana hasta las 7 de la tarde.
And he was passing by and his friend invited to come to the room, and that's when the police officers and Miss Bao showed up.
Y él había salido de trabajar y un amigo le había dicho que entrara al apartamento y justo cuando entra fue que llegó la policía y la señora Boy.
So he didn't understand what was going on, and he has been in the jail from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's almost Monday afternoon because we were not able to get Spanish interpreter on Saturday. He's been in the jail quite a bit.
Y entonces él fue arrestado el viernes, pasó el sábado, el domingo y ahora ya es lunes de tarde. No le pudimos dar una audiencia el sábado porque no podíamos conseguir un intérprete.
We would like to request for a signature on bond as pretrial services recommends.
Queremos pedir una fianza que le den así con las básicas recomendaciones.
And if he still has a job at Roswell Creek Apartment, I would like him to continuously go there for his job and make money.
Y si él sigue teniendo un trabajo allí en Roswell Creek, en esos apartamentos, pido que él pueda seguir yendo para que él pueda seguir ganando dinero.
That's it, Your Honor.
Eso es todo.
If I may, Your Honor, just briefly, this incident was witnessed and recorded by staff members, and at no time did they indicate the defendant worked for their property, and in fact stated that he had been trespassed previously according to their records. Nothing further from the state.
Y entonces está diciendo la fiscal que los trabajadores del apartamento nunca mencionaron, ellos tenían video del incidente de usted entrar al lugar y nunca habían mencionado que usted trabajaba allí y nunca habían dicho eso.
Your Honor, usually most of the time, subcontractors, they are not official employees. They come there whenever there's need for the work. So maybe the staff member didn't know the subcontractors.
Y entonces está diciendo la abogada que quizás no conocían a usted como un subcontratista y ese podría haber sido el problema.
However, he was previously trespassed, Your Honor.
And I was going to say, or ask the question, I guess, of the state. So the allegation basically is trespassing or squatting in this apartment, in this complex. Is that correct? What the police report states?
Yes, the warrant actually states that he was previously trespassed according to their records.
Y entonces pide la juez que fue así el cargo final de traspasar a propiedad privada y invadir la propiedad también. Y dicen que sí, que en la orden de arresto dice eso y menciona el incidente anteriormente también.
And he was currently on the property again, squatting in this incident location that was previously put on the record.
Y él nuevamente estaba en el mismo sitio donde había estado anteriormente, invadiendo uno de los apartamentos.
All right, I'm going to order the 1,600 surety bond. I'm going to order a stay away from the Holcomb Bridge Way. I think it's apartment 803J. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Entonces voy a ordenar una fianza de $1,600 de no regresar a esos apartamentos de Holcomb Bridge Way y no regresar al apartamento 803J y no tener ningún tipo de droga o alcohol en el sistema.
Is there anything else I need to take up, counsel?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Nothing further from the state.
All right.
Pero
we strongly recommend Mr. Pedrola remain silent.
Entonces está diciendo su abogada, señor Pedrosa, que permanezca en silencio, por favor.
Okay, he has to wait. Position 19, Snelling.
This is case number 22CR005264Y. Antonio Snelling, you're charged with 1 count of battery family violence. The offense date is August 6, 2022. Hold on 1 second. Mr. Soka, does that conclude your matters with the court today? I think he may have already signed off, did he? Did he sign off, Ms. Champion?
Yes, ma'am, he did.
Okay, I was gonna tell him he could go, but that's fine. All right. Go ahead, pretrial on Mr. Snelling.
The defendant has 34 cycles beginning in 1994. Last arrest was January of 2020 for driving without a valid license in DeKalb County, Georgia. The charge was forwarded for prosecution on February the 2nd of this year, 2022. Record also indicates 12 prior felony convictions outside the 10-year period and 8 prior misdemeanor convictions outside the 10-year period. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Your Honor, this is my case, Mrs. Johnson. This case, thank you, Your Honor. This case is involving Antonio Stelling. The offense date was August 6, 2022, with the location incident being 1540 Orlando Street Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia. The victim in this case, Miss Keola, Keola, last name Pasteur, Pasteure. On the day of this incident, the defendant and Miss Pasteur, who are in fact siblings, are on the way to see their sick mother. On the way in transit, the defendant was on the phone. He was in an altercation and an argument. Mrs. Pasteur, the victim, asked him to please stop arguing so that she may concentrate on driving. During that time, he took off his belt and struck her. The victim, Ms. Pasteur, pulled over and contacted police, and that's when police arrived on the scene. Ms. Pasteur also alerted him and let the officer know that this was not the first time that Mr. Snelling had in fact hit her previously. For that reason, Your Honor, I will be asking for a $5,000 surety bond. The victim has stated that she does not want contact with Mr. Snelling. I will also ask for no further contact and 1 day of anger awareness. In addition, Your Honor, the previous record is pretrial stated that aggravated assault when he was arrested in 2010. He was actually in custody. He was confined for 12 years, but was released on August 12, 2019. Nothing further from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Snelling is 47 years old, Your Honor, and he was born and raised here in Georgia. I think this one is correct. And he does not have any children. He's not married. However, his parents and siblings reside here. And also he is employed as a security office at some kind of security office building. His education was up to 11th grade, and he is actually suffering from asthma, and he needs to have the inhaler if the jail can provide. Also, he had a stroke on 2017. Because of that, he has other medical conditions that he needs attention. We would like to request for $1,000 maximum surety bond, Your Honor. That's it.
All right.
Excuse me. He was judge.
Mr. Snelling, I am advising you to remain silent because you don't want to hurt your case at all.
I just want to say one thing because Ms. Johnson said I hit my second time. This is third. My first time.
Please do not say anything about the facts. This is not about the fact of the case. This is about the bond hearing.
You said it was more than one time. That's a story. Because I never me and Kill the first time getting into it. There was no second time, none of that. You know, she said some things to me, you know, when I did, hit it with my little belt, not my hand, my little belt 2 or 3 times. That was it. That was our first incident, Your Honor, just going on the shoot.
All right, Mr. Snelling, this is not your trial. This is just to determine bond. So I think your attorney has asked you to not speak. The facts of your case, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right, I'm going to order a $4,000 surety bond. I'm going to order a stay away from 1540 Orlando Street. I'm going to, because I'm assuming Mr. Snelling does not live there, is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor. They do not live together, Your Honor.
Okay. And so he can stay away from 1540 Orlando Street.
Yes, Your Honor.
No further contact with his sister, Keola Pasteur. No further contact. Do not contact her at all or go around her. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. All right, and that will be the order of the court.
Your Honor, may I also ask for the anger awareness course?
Is
Is
I'm gonna lose all my shit, man. My shit, I ain't what's name, bro. Excuse me,
Mr. Snelling.
Your Honor. Excuse me, Your Honor.
Mr. Snelling, please be quiet. I'm not for sure, will he be able to pay? He should be able to. I don't know.
Your Honor, he's not employed. I mean, and he's not making much money. He is employed as a security office building. However, he is working on getting Social Security income because of his stroke from 2017, Your Honor.
I will leave off the anger awareness course at this time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, go have a seat over there. Snelling. Position 17, Rutledge. I'm gonna explain it to you. Have a seat over here.
This is 22 CR 0052559E. Chaz Rutledge. You're charged with DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol less safe, driving on the wrong side of the road, and an improper left turn, all with the offense date of August the 7th, 2022. Pretrial.
Defendant has 3 cycles beginning in 2012. He's a multi-state offender with arrests from the states of South Carolina, Alabama, and Georgia. Last arrest, Your Honor, was February of 2020 for DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol in DeKalb County, Georgia. No disposition was listed for the last arrest. Defendant does meet criteria for an SOB through pretrial. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Duncan.
Your Honor, this incident is alleged to have occurred on August the 7th, 2022 in the area at or near 2250 Holcomb Bridge Road. In this incident, Your Honor, there was an officer, Christensen, who responded to a dispatch call from another officer who had observed a vehicle operating on the wrong side of the road, so much so that that vehicle nearly missed striking his patrol vehicle. This incident was recorded on the officer's car camera, and the video does show the car in question traveling east in the rightmost westbound lane on Holcomb Bridge Road. The person driving the vehicle, it was later identified as a defendant in this case. And that officer initiated a traffic stop after nearly being hit by the defendant in this case. And before the defendant in this came to a stop, he made an improper left turn onto Eves Road. When officers approached the vehicle, they noted an odor of alcoholic beverage coming from his person, which indicated to them that this driver could be impaired given the way that he was driving. The officer also noted that this defendant's eyes were red and watery, that his speech was slurred and slowed, and he admitted to the officer that he had consumed one or two beers at least 2 hours prior to driving on the wrong side of the road. Officers asked the defendant in this case to exit the vehicle, and upon exiting the vehicle, the defendant appeared to be unsteady on his feet and had gait ataxia. When standing still, the defendant was swaying side to side and from back and forwards. He took a field sobriety test and evaluations, which he agreed to, and the officer indicated that those responses supported impairment. Your Honor, we have a severe risk of concern for risk of reoffending in this case. This is the defendant's 3rd arrest for DUI in a 10-year period. There's one from DeKalb County, which we don't have a disposition for, February 2020. There's another one from Alabama with no disposition from 2015, and this would be the 3rd one. In addition, this defendant's driving record shows 3 suspensions in 2020, 2 were for impaired consent, and 3 citations. 1 was for implied consent in 2020, 1 was for following too closely, and another was for an unspecified driving violation. Because of this defendant's abysmal driving record and issues with driving while under the influence, as noted by the multiple arrests in the 10-year period, we're going to be requesting a $6,000 total surety. That's $5,000 for the DUI, $500 for the driving on the wrong side of the road, and $500 for the improper turn. We're going to request no driving unless allowed through a limited permit by DDS, no alcohol, drugs, weapons, no further violations of Georgia law, and an ADET. Nothing further from the state.
All right, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond as pretrial services recommended. He has been here in Georgia for about 10 years. He does not have any children. He's not married. However, he has his uncle and grandma residing here together. He is employed as a state of Georgia Department of Early Care and Running, and he's been working there for about a year, and he really want to keep his job. He has some college credits, and other than that, Your Honor, we would like to request for a signature on bond. If Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we would like to request for maximum $1,000 surety bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
And you said that he works for the State Department of what? I didn't hear that clearly.
Early Care and Learning, Your Honor.
Oh. And he's how old again?
He is 32 years old, Your Honor.
Well, I have concerns, with his third DUI arrest. So I'm going to give him the $6,000 surety bond with $5,000 for the DUI, $500 on wrong side of the road, and $500 for the improper lane change. So that'll be a $6,000 surety bond. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And that will be it for the order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, we'll be interested in including the ADET in at this time, given its history of repeated DUI offenses.
Yeah, I thought about it. And I'm sorry, I forgot that you had recommended the ADET. Obviously, he needs some help. So I'll go ahead and order the ADET and see what the recommendations are.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Position 3, Beck.
This is 22 CR 005251A Cortez Beck. You're charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting, 2nd count of criminal trespass, and a 3rd count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. All 3 charges with the offense date of August the 6th, 2022. Free trial.
The defendant has 11 cycles beginning in 2012. Last arrest was June. One moment, Your Honor. That's incorrect. One moment. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just caught it. Last arrest was June 28th of 2022, not 28, but 22. For theft by shoplifting, that was in Atlanta. That resulted in a misdemeanor conviction with time served. There is a 2014 misdemeanor conviction out of Daugherty County, a 2014 for transmitting false report of a fire, a 2013 misdemeanor conviction out of Bullock County, giving false name to law enforcement officer, possession of marijuana less than an ounce, possession by persons below legal age of alcoholic beverages. Nothing further, Your Honor.
And how many cycles?
11 cycles beginning in 2012.
Okay, 11. Thank you. All right. Who do I have for the state?
What's the position, Your Honor?
Position 3, Beck.
One moment. Your Honor, I think that is Miss Mitchell. I think she's having some technical difficulties.
Oh, getting back on. Yeah, because I don't see her on here. She's not on, is she, Miss Champion? Maybe she's trying to sign back in. Mr. Walker?
Your Honor, while we are waiting, may I please verify the bond amount for Mr. Pedraza? Was it $1,500 or $1,600?
Let's see. It was 1,600. Surety.
That's what I have.
1600. Yeah.
Because we rarely, never had a 1,600, so I was like, okay, thank you.
Oh, that odd number.
Yeah. Thank you.
I was only picking on Mr. Walker because sometimes he'll jump in and says he can do it. Let's see if she can sign back in. If not, I want to keep it moving since we're at 5 to 5. Is there anyone else that can?
I don't know what her location is because it's storming down here. So that could have had.
I hear some thunder over my way, but and you know, yesterday was horrible. Usually Mr. Walker would jump in or Miss Falk. The deputies are the supervisors per se.
Your Honor, I believe the rest of the cases are Ms. Ganson, I believe.
Are they? You want to switch and see if we can? Well, I see.
I have only position 2 and position 4 left.
Those are the only 2 left?
Yep.
No.
No. What about 5?
2, 4, and 5.
Right.
Let's see what 5 is.
Oh, there she comes. Hold on. There's Miss Mitchell. I think she's able to get back in.
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
5 is going to be an MH reset. I'm sorry, Your Honor. 5 is going to be an MH reset.
Okay. 5 is MH reset. Thank you. All right, Miss Mitchell, are you back with us? Let's see if we can.
Yes, Your Honor. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great.
And hold on, I turned my page. And we're on position 3, 22 CR 0052551A Cortez Beck. And I don't know if you were able, pretrial said he had 11 cycles beginning in 2012.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And I don't know if you heard that before you.
Yes. I'll just highlight some of what I think is relevant.
Okay.
Your Honor, in this case, the defendant was caught shoplifting 2 power banks and earphones valued at approximately $60 from Walgreens at 595 Piedmont Avenue, Atlanta, Georgia. The defendant trespassed at said incident location by knowingly and intentionally entering the premises after being told by the manager to leave and was escorted off the property just an hour before this incident. Once officer made contact, the defendant took off running, refused to stop, and resisted arrest once caught. The defendant was even tased, broke the wires from the tase gun, and took off running for a second time before finally being detained. Your Honor, there is a current $4,500 surety bond that's going to be $1,500 as to each count. And the state's going to request that that bond remain the same with a stay away from the incident location, Walgreens at 595 Piedmont Avenue, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Your Honor, the state's concern here is the defendant's risk of reoffending. As heard from pretrial, he has a history of shoplifting, and even trespass. This is his 8th incident this year alone. We also have concerns about him being a flight risk. There is the outstanding warrant for FTA out of Statesboro. that was issued in December of 2013. And in addition to that, Your Honor, even in this situation, he ran from the police. So we do have concerns of him being a flight risk at this time. With that being said, we are requesting that the bond remain the same, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Cortez Beck is 29 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He does have family here, Your Honor, but no one is available to assist with bond. We are unopposed to the stay away at the incident location. Mr. Beck completed high school. He also has some college where he studied audio engineering and business administration. He is currently unemployed and has been so for the past 3 months. When he was working, he was employed at T&T Remodeling. Your Honor, my client denies the allegations. He insists that the wrong person was arrested. He wants me to let you know that he was tased with no clothing on. He denies resisting arrest, denies stealing anything, Your Honor. I acknowledge my client's history. I am requesting a signature bond. If I heard about a recent conviction, he is presumed innocent in this matter. Most of his history is remote, and along with that warrant, and there was no hold that was issued according to the information that I received. I am requesting again a signature bond, and if Your Honor determines that he's ineligible, I would ask for a bond of no more than $1,500. That would be $500 for each offense. And again, we are unopposed to the stay away. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor. Your Honor.
Mr. Beck, please don't speak.
Exactly what Ms. Gant said.
I'm not sure. There's nothing that he needs to ask, is it, Ms. Gant, before I will, or I couldn't hear what he stated. It was fuzzy.
I said exactly what Ms. Gant said. I was
Mr. Beck, please do not speak, sir. We don't want you to jeopardize your case.
All right, I'm going to order that we enter the $4,500 surety bond, and that is that $1,500 on each count. And I'm going to order stay away from the Walgreens at 595 Piedmont Avenue. Please do not go back there, Mr. Beck, or you will be arrested again. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. That's a $4,500 surety bond, $1,500 on each charge. Thank you.
All right. And then so
Mr. Beck, I will give you a call at the jail. Please do not make any statements.
If I'm getting shot by a police officer.
Mr. Beck, please remain silent.
Position 2, Beard. Come on, Mr. Beard.
This is case number 22 CR 0052449G. Jacob Beard, you charged with 1 count of simple battery against a police officer, police dog, correction or detention officer. 2nd count of simple battery, both with the offense date of August 5th, 2022. Pretrial.
Your Honor, the GCIC indicates the defendant has no criminal history on file. He does meet criteria for an SOB pretrial. Nothing further.
All right, thank you. Ms. Mitchell.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the defendant battered Officer Jay Farley by spitting on his face and eyes. The defendant also battered EMT Miss Ashley Durand, spelled D-U-R-A-N-D, by pushing her. Your Honor, the defendant was at a concert at the Lakewood Amphitheater located at 2002 Lakewood Avenue Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia, and he was heavily intoxicated and combative with the Lakewood staff members. Miss Durand, EMT, was called to aid defendant for being heavily intoxicated. When she made contact, the defendant pushed her away, saying, quote, "You took too long." The defendant was highly emotional and crying while in a dispute with his brother, or a male that claimed to be his brother. The brother tried to guide defendant toward the exit, but defendant continued to show high level of aggression and hostility while yelling and screaming obscenities at the officer. Officer Farley was standing behind defendant and his brother, instructing them to leave when the defendant faced toward in the direction of the officer and spit in the officer's face and eyes. The defendant was detained at that point. Your Honor, the state's recommendation is going to be as to count one, $1,000 surety, count two, $1,000 surety, totaling a $2,000 surety, a stay away from incident location Lakewood Amphitheater, 1 day anger awareness, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Your Honor, although this is the defendant's first arrest, based on the nature of these allegations and the police report stating the amount of times the officer gave the defendant to leave, and he refused to do so and was aggressive and combative, based on those allegations, we are recommending the $2,000 surety bond in this case, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jacob Beard is 26 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area his entire life. He has family here. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away at the incident location. Mr. Beard completed high school. He is a disabled veteran. He served in the Marine Corps for 4 years. And again, he is disabled as a result of that service, Your Honor. He denies the allegations. He is presumed innocent. He does not have any prior history whatsoever. He meets criteria for a signature bond. Therefore, I'm requesting a signature bond on Mr. Beard's behalf. And again, we are unopposed to the stay away. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. That'll be $1,500 on each of the charges. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. I'm going to order a stay away from the Lakewood Amphitheater. I'm going to order the 1 day anger awareness course as well through pretrial. And no further contact with the officer, Jay Farley, or the EMT, Ashley Duran. And I think that will be it. Anything else I need to take up, counsel?
You're done.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Bennett. Position 4, Bennett.
All right, this is case number 22 CR 005250H. Carl Adam Bennett, you're charged with 1 count of theft by shoplifting, 2nd count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, both with the offense date of August the 7th, 2022. Pretrial.
The defendant has 15 cycles beginning in 1995. He is a multi-state offender with arrests from the states of Michigan, Louisiana, and Georgia. Last arrest was July of 2021 for simple battery, and that was in Fulton County. That resulted in a misdemeanor conviction, 12 months probation. As of July the 27th of last year, 2021, under case 21 CR 003404H is in hello. Also, Your Honor, there's a 2019 felony conviction out of Athens, Clark County, 4 counts of financial transaction card fraud, 2 prior felony convictions outside the 10-year period, a 2016 misdemeanor conviction, first offender out of Jackson County for battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the 3rd degree, and 3 violations of probation within the past 10 years. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, Ms. Mitchell.
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, the defendant was caught shoplifting 2 bottles of wine with a value of approximately $26 from the Exxon Mobil gas station located at 400 Edgewood Avenue Northeast, Atlanta, Georgia. When officers made contact, the defendant tried running away and refused to comply with officers' commands to stop. Your Honor, there's a current bond of $1,500 surety on this case. That's going to be $500 as to count 1 and $1,000 as to count 2. And the state's going to request that that bond be increased to $1,500 surety as to each count, totaling a $3,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, the Exxon gas station on 400 Edgewood Avenue, and no alcohol, drugs, and weapons. Your Honor, the state concern here is defendant's risk of reoffending. The defendant is a convicted felon, multi-state offender, as heard from pretrial, with an extensive violent history. He does, as far as theft is concerned, does have the 4 counts of convicted on the 4 counts of financial transaction card theft in 2019, and even has a previous shoplifting arrest in 2016 out of Chamblee. We also have concerns that the defendant is a flight risk, outside of the fact that he's a multi-state offender. He, even in this case, he did run from the officer. He did run away from the officer. So with that being said, we are recommending the $3,000 surety bond based on his history, in addition to the alleged facts. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Gant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Carl Bennett is 44 years old. He has been in the Atlanta, Georgia area for 2 years. He does have community ties, including a family and a 7-year-old child. Your Honor, we are unopposed to the stay away at the incident location. Mr. Bennett had obtained a GED. He also studied criminal justice in college. He is unemployed at this time. He is looking for work. He has experience as a concrete finisher. My client denies the allegations, and while I acknowledge my client's history, his history is largely non-violent, and this is a non-violent offense. I am requesting a signature bond on Mr. Bennett's behalf, as again, he does not have anyone to help him meet bond. If Your Honor determines that he's ineligible, then I would ask for a bond total of no more than $1,000. That would be $500 for each count, Your Honor. And again, we are unopposed to the stay away. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All right, I'm going to leave the bond as set at the $1,500 surety bond, $500 on the shoplifting, $1,000 on the willful obstruction. I'm going to order a stay away from the Exxon gas station at 400 Edgewood Avenue, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And that should be it for this case, I believe.
All right, you're done.
Thank you,
Thank you, Your
Honor.
Honor.
Judge Mincy, for position 5, it's gonna be a reset. Okay. And
Yes.
we're seated here in courtroom 2, Judge.
All right, thank you. Have a good evening.
All right, you too, thanks.
All right. Okay, let's see. Whenever you're ready, Miss Bridgewater.
I am ready.
Okay. Good.
Again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is going to be August the 23rd. Okay?
23rd or 22nd? I thought they told me the 22nd, or did I write it wrong?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, it is the 23rd. I put it in the chat. That is the 23rd.
I didn't get a chance to read it. I'm sorry. It's the 23rd. Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right. So here we go. Position number 1 is reset further notice with a $3,500 total SOB through pretrial. Position 2 is reset further notice with a $3,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 3 is going to the SAP calendar with a $4,500 total good bond. Position 4 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,500 good bond. Position 5 is a medical reset till tomorrow. Position 6, and let me go back. Well, that's okay. Position number 5, Mr. Billings, is going to be heard on tomorrow. Position 6 is reset further notice with a $3,000 total SOB through pretrial. Position 7 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 8 is a reset for tomorrow. However, there is a $10,000 good bond. Position 9 is reset to the SAP calendar with a $2,500 good bond. Position 10 is going to the SAP calendar with a $3,500 total good bond. Position 11 is reset further notice with a $4,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 12 is reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 13 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. Position 14 is going to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 15 reset further notice with a $4,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 16 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,600 good bond. Position 17 is going to the SAP calendar with a $6,000 total good bond. Position 18 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 19 is going to the SAP calendar with a $4,000 good bond. Position 20 reset further notice with a $4,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 21 reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. And position 22 reset further notice with a $4,000 SOB through pretrial. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
Nothing at all. Thank you.
Did
Great.
wonderful.
Great work.
Long day. Yes. You did.
Yes. You all be safe, and we'll see you when we see you, okay?
All right. Thank you.
See you. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Coming
Nice,
for you,
nice
Judge.
meeting everybody. All right.
too,
Thank you.
Judge.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.